This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, Dunedin City councillors hear passionate pleas to save rail services around Dunedin. Possum control contractors are turned away from a Sawyers Bay property. And Invercargill's new COVID-19 vaccination clinic is open for business, aiming to help protect southerners from the virus. Tēnā koutou katoa, namahi o te ahiahi nei, kia ora, I'm Simon Anderson. The Dunedin City Council heard impassioned pleas to keep trains on the tracks at this morning's public forum. Representatives from Waitati, Port Chalmers and Middlemarch addressed councillors with one unified idea: keep the local trains.
Scenes like this will become a thing of the past if the Dunedin City Council abandons rail travel around Greater Dunedin and beyond. The Dunedin City Council has heard passionate appeals to not scrap rail which connects the city and outlying suburbs, which is one of the possibilities it announced recently, leading to a climate of fear amongst some Port Chalmers businesses.
They don't think it would be worthwhile doing it if there was no train. So really, fingers crossed that one of the negative options in the report is not followed.
The council says keeping the Taieri Gorge line open could come with a price tag of up to $14.8 million for maintenance and a full upgrade within the next 10 years. Port Chalmers-based accountant Rowan Podofsky understands it's a financial numbers game.
It's the main thing. I mean, I'm because I'm a number cruncher, I'm real about knowing that they need to make a profit on the train.
Podofsky and a group of volunteers recently hired a train to take passengers to and from port for a Port Chalmers Day, where an adult's return ticket was just $10. A group of Waitati businesses banded together to support regular Sunday train trips between the coastal village and Dunedin over summer. The Seasider train took 3,200 passengers during the 15-week program, averaging 270 people a week visiting the area. Councillor Lee Vandervis asked proponents who they thought should pay for the rail system to be maintained.
I think it was fine. I think someone has to ask those questions and it's totally legitimate, but I just don't think that they can look at it as just Dunedin. I think they have to look at the big picture and connecting it to the other regions.
Melanie Borrell says her husband and her opened their business in Waitati during February 2020, but closed it due to COVID within a couple of months. But the train journeys meant they could reopen and even take on more staff. However, they say it's not just about their businesses, it's about the whole community.
We're not speaking on behalf of our businesses, it's a collective of the 6 businesses in Blueskin Bay. Yeah, I think that's really important that we are on behalf of our community, not just our own businesses.
Yeah.
Under the councils, selling or leasing the train to an organisation which wants to run a tourism rail service from Dunedin is one of the 4 options for the future of the service. The other options are to shut it down completely and sell the assets, keep it and just use the Kiwi Rail section of the line, or to keep it and run the Seasider and Taieri Gorge trains. In Dunedin, The South Today.
And late this afternoon, the DCC voted 14-1 to defer the decision. Diversions were put in place at a busy Invercargill intersection following a crash in which a traffic light was taken out. Police say the collision was between 2 vehicles on the corner of Bay and North Roads at about 9 a.m. Police spoke to the occupants of the vehicles who appeared shaken, but no injuries were reported. A power company was set to fix the damaged traffic light, with traffic management remaining in place until the traffic light is repaired. Protesters have stopped Osprey workers from setting possum cage traps on a Sawyers Bay farm in Dunedin. This is the 4th time the government-funded contractors have been turned away from the property.
These colourfully dressed protesters are determined to stop Osprey workers entering the 7-hectare farm at Dunedin's Sawyers Bay. Landowner Adrian Black says he does not want the government-funded contractors on his land.
We're protesting about Osprey TB3 invading private land without permission and without due cause.
Osprey is carrying out possum control in the area with the aim of eradicating an outbreak of bovine tuberculosis among cows. The Animal Disease Management Agency is allowed, under the Biosecurity Act of 1993, to enter private property and conduct pest control operations in order to reduce TB. This was the fourth visit by Osprey requesting permission to enter the Sawyers Bay farm, and they were denied access yet again. Osprey Service Delivery General Manager Vivian Larson says Osprey works with about 300 landowners in the area, and the majority are supportive of the TB program. Osprey has exhausted all options since formally notifying Mr Black in December 2019 of a proposed possum control operation on his property. It is disappointing not being able to resolve the land access issue. In Dunedin, the South Today.
3 people are injured, 1 critically, after a crash on State Highway 1 between Milton and Balclutha. 2 ambulances and 2 helicopters from Dunedin were sent to the scene. Police say 3 vehicles were involved in a collision at Lovell's Flat just before 1 p.m. today. St John says 1 person with critical injuries has been airlifted to Dunedin Hospital, and 2 other people with moderate injuries have been taken by ambulance. Vaccinations against COVID-19 have begun in Invercargill. A clinic in the Civic Theatre is set to vaccinate frontline health workers first, with vaccinations of the general public starting in July.
The Invercargill COVID-19 vaccination clinic is soon to be busy and bustling, and vaccination program coordinator Carl Metzler is pleased to see the facility open.
I guess today is a pretty big milestone, really. I just want to acknowledge, take time to pause and acknowledge that and celebrate the little wins, really. We're going to need those over the next 9 months.
The centre is capable of vaccinating about 360 people a day against COVID-19. But don't plan on going there for your jab quite yet, because their first task is to immunise frontline health workers, and then in May they'll move on to vaccinating people who are deemed to be at higher risk, while the general population will have to wait until July.
At the moment we're targeting our frontline healthcare workers, the 2A and 2B tiers, and then followed by obviously tier 3 and then into our general population. And we'll probably see the centre at its most utilised once we hit that general population rollout.
Set up for the next 12 months at the Invercargill City Council Civic Centre, it's taken a lot of planning to get the clinic this far.
I think both the SDHB and Well South Primary Care Network should be really proud of what we've achieved to date. We've had to move pretty quickly and get across some major logistics, and I think New Zealand's in a really good position, and we need to just really strengthen that position that we've been in by getting as much of our general population immunised and hit that herd immunity target, really.
It's hoped most of the Southland population will be vaccinated by the end of the year. In Invercargill, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, an old school bus contributes to education in another way, and the Mozgul Pool is getting ready for a revamp. Ka kite a konei.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life. Tuesdays, 7:30.
TV, our favourite babysitter. But it can be tough keeping up with what our tamariki are watching. Luckily, the Broadcasting Standards Authority has made some smart changes to the classification labels. Ooh! Plus changes to the time of day certain rated shows will air, and awesome new parental lock features, meaning your babysitter's job is safe. Find out more at safeviewing.co.nz.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Hi, it's Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Our 3 stores have got a deal for you. We're going hard, we're going early, so we've gone hard on the prices, 50% off, a great selection. Shorts, look at all these shorts. T-shirts, they're all half price. Check out all those tees along there. What about all these ones down here? Also at a great saving, 50% off. We're going hard, we're going early. Polo shirts, short sleeve shirts, there's such a variety.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
It's the Alex Campbell Menswear, go hard, go early, summer sale. Don't miss this one.
Hoki mai anō. If you're worried about internet banking or the risk of online scams, then a converted school bus may be just the thing you need. Dora, the digital bus, is bringing classes to towns across the south to help people manage their finances online. Dora is currently in Alexandra, a town where she served as a school bus for several decades before her digital conversion.
A former school bus, which has seen decades of service in Alexandra, is back and serenaded through the town by piper Keith Cameron. The bus's former driver Earl Bailey says he noticed a technological change in his passengers over the years.
I noticed a big difference in the latter years where cell phones become the dominant feature, and people would get on the bus and their heads would be buried in the old cell phone instead of saying "Good morning, Earl" or whatever.
And that technological revolution is what this old bus has now been retrofitted for. Dora the digital bus is now a mobile learning centre offering free classes on digital banking across the country. Sue Kinney uses Dora as a classroom to teach people who might be scared of the risk of online scams and give them more confidence with email and online banking.
Really what we want them to do is feel, once they come on Dora and they're feeling a bit nervous and unsure, we want them to leave Dora feeling far more confident than when they left. We want them to think, okay, this is something that I might be able to give a go, and then go and have a conversation with their own bank and actually make a time to see a personal banker and give it a shot. Yeah, that's our aim is.
Dora's services couldn't have come at a better time as banks in country towns close down and rural residents are forced into online banking. And the Rural Women New Zealand organisation is making sure people will know when Dora is coming to their town.
Just spreading the word that Dora is about and the fantastic service that they provide for people in rural areas, just to become familiar with online banking and the internet in general in this time where there's so many banks are closing and people really are finding it really far more necessary to be in touch with things like online banking.
Dora the digital bus is set to travel across the region, stopping in Clyde, Roxburgh, Millers Flat, Naseby, Ranfurly, Aotearoa and Omakau. In Alexandra, the South Today.
One of the Mozgul Pool's most frequent swimmers over many years says many improvements have been made to the pool in his time, but he's ready for a whole new one. The pool is now closed and set to be demolished to make way for a $15 million new aquatic complex.
In the deep end, one last time. Ivan Gamble is sad the 84-year-old Mozgul Pool has closed, saying he has many fond memories.
I certainly will miss the pool. It was always been a bit of an icon. It's always been here, and yes, we will miss. We had a lot of, especially in my teenage years, we had a lot of fun down here. Sort of all sorts of having the odds, ciggies behind the back and things like that. But all good fun.
The 77-year-old learned to swim in the Mozgul Pool, which opened in December 1937, was heated in 1967, and eventually covered in 1984. He understands the need for a new one and remembers a former caretaker from his teenage years.
The caretaker tended to be an elderly retired man they have, and he had very bad arthritis. He could only walk with 2 walking sticks, and but he had a big long pole, a big long bamboo pole there. He could actually reach across the pool and if anybody got into trouble, but I never knew anybody get into any trouble or anything.
The Mozgul Pool closed at the weekend and will be demolished to make way for a new $15 million all-year-round pool. Construction is due to begin mid-year, and it's scheduled to open in late 2022. Ivan Gamble doesn't think he'll drive to Moana Pool in Dunedin, but has plans to keep fit while his pool's closed.
I've got an exercycle at home and do a bit more walking and things like that, but I will miss the pool, definitely. Yeah.
Mozgul Community Board Chairwoman Joy Davies says the new pool will be wonderful for the community, as the now closed pool wasn't big enough and was in need of an upgrade. In Mozgul, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, ill fortune limits motorcycle speedsters to a walking pace, and we check out the midweek's weather. Hea koko ake nei.
Hey, what have you got? Okay. Chicks World, party time, excellent. Love it. Chicks World. Chicks World.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Hi, it's Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Our 3 stores have got a deal for you. We're going hard, we're going early, so we've gone hard on the prices, 50% off, a great selection. Shorts, look at all these shorts. T-shirts, they're all half price. Check out all those tees along there. What about all these ones down here? Also at a great saving, 50% off. We're going hard, we're going early. Polo shirts, short sleeve shirts, there's such a variety.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
It's the Alex Campbell Menswear, go hard, go early, summer sale. Don't miss this one.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Feed me more!
No mai nō, welcome back. Phil Garrett and his fellow Flying Kiwi Motorcycles team attempted to break the national motorcycle land speed record on a rural road near Ashburton recently, but at least this time the engine gods were against them.
A 20-year dream hasn't come true for Phil Garrett. The Christchurch-based motorcycling enthusiast was aiming to go 320 kilometres an hour on a modified turbo bike, which has been modified with planetary gears which are fitted inside the rear wheel. Garrett was hoping to attempt the record this time last year before COVID-19 halted him in his tracks. A number of other bikes were also speeding down the long stretch of the road at Pendarves. Garrett was also racing an electric bike, which he hoped to take up to 160 kilometres an hour. In Canterbury, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Dunedin City Councillors have heard passionate pleas from people of Port Chalmers, Waitati and Middlemarch to save local rail services. Possum control contractors have been turned away from a Sawyers Bay property for a fourth time this week. And Invercargill's new COVID-19 vaccination clinic is open for business, aiming to help protect southerners from the virus. And now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. We have Hayden Meikle with us this evening. G'day, Hayden.
Good evening, Simon. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
Excellent, good. Lots happening today, as we've seen trains, the big topic at Dunedin City Council today. Dunedin Railways, should they stay or should they go? And plenty of passionate people out there very, very keen to see the train retained. Yeah. So no firm decision made today. It's sort of a decision has been deferred, but clearly the inference seems to be the Dunedin City Council is keen to keep some form of train going. It's just how we manage to do that. Yeah. So Grant Miller is our train man, and he's beavering away on the page one lead as we speak. So I'm looking forward to seeing what other details he's got. And then a bit of weather sort of here and there. There's we're looking at NIWA talking about the dry conditions in the wider Otago region at the moment. I think the phrase is where much of the area is one step away from a drought technically, right. But they're saying it's this time of year, they're not too worried. In the coming months it's often quite dry anyway, but quite a bit of water being taken inland to areas that really need it. So, and the other weather related thing is a little bit of snow on the ski fields today, which of course is hugely exciting for the folks up there as hopefully a bunch of Australians are set to arrive for ski season. A little bit of snow and a bit more forecast on the way, so you know that winter is getting closer. A bit of a crash on State Highway 1 down there on in the Clutha region somewhere. Quite an impressive photo showing all the heavy traffic backed up along State Highway 1 thanks to that crash. So we'll be checking to see if there's any updates on that. And it's the Otago Rally coming up this weekend. Always extremely popular, and is a very large feature, special on the paper tomorrow, showing people where to stand and who to watch. So should be fun.
Great, Hayden. Thank you. And time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with the southern view, feeding time for a Dunedin tui at a Peka Peka feeder. Looking at the situation, a ridge of high pressure spreads over southern districts tomorrow. This settles prevailing southwest winds for a time. A westerly airflow will develop from Thursday, only increasing on Friday and Saturday as fronts approach from the Southern Ocean. Now travelling to the northwest of the South Island, not too bad. Greymouth sees sun and 17 degrees, a bit of cloud for Westport on 18. And it's rather the same right across the north of the island, sun and cloud for Nelson on 17 degrees, just sun for Blenheim on 18. Across to Canterbury, and it's mild and patchy across Canterbury. Kaikoura reaches 16, Christchurch 18 and Ashburton 17 degrees. Moving to the southern towns, light winds brush across this region. Otherwise fine in Balclutha on 16 degrees and becoming fine everywhere else. The Catlins reaches 16 degrees as well, Lumsden and Gore both on 15. It's similar in central, light winds and becoming fine in Te Anau on 15 degrees. And fine in the other three centres, also accompanying light winds, 16 in Wanaka and Queenstown, 17 degrees for Alexandra. To the northern towns, southwest winds blow a little stronger here, especially in Oamaru on 15 degrees. It'll be a bit cloudy on the coast as well, that includes Timaru on 16 degrees. Things should be a bit finer inland, Twizel and Omarama both on 17 degrees. Showers should clear in Dunedin tonight with an overnight low of 9. It's overcast tomorrow as periods of rain develop during the morning before clearing late afternoon. Fresh, gusty and rather cold southwest winds blow throughout, a high of 14 and a low of 9. And the sun breaks through the cloud on Thursday with milder northerly winds taking over, a high of 21 and a low of 11. And to Invercargill. Showers and wind both clear tonight for an overnight low of 8, and the low cloud clears tomorrow, giving way to sun, although light variable winds return, a high of 15 and a low of 8. Milder temperatures on Thursday, but you lose the sun as a condition, westerly winds and cloud increasing and showers at night time, a high of 12 and a low of 8. And that's the news this Tuesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Nō reira, kia pai te pō, ka ki tāno.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.